Greetings, YouTube. This is your good friend, Fragments of Memory, aka the Armchair Philosopher. I want to share with you some unpleasant truths about life. Just things that I've really reflected on today. Number one, and I think the YouTuber Testazelle spoke on this, and I might have done a vid response to this. It was that favor isn't fair. That many of the advantages you have, whether it's a pretty face, a good looking body, not everyone has that. Or maybe you have the great lifestyle, or maybe you have the attention of certain members of the opposite sex. And it seems that one person has it, the other one doesn't. One person seems to be celebrated, the other person ignored. And sometimes that might not be so pleasant for the one being ignored, but favor isn't fair. Some are made to excel in certain things than others. Others are risen to certain degrees or levels. So that's one unpleasant truth that I think I'm really coming to peace with. Another unpleasant truth is no matter what you do, as far as being good and doing the right thing, it may not be recognized. In fact, it may even be hated. This does not mean don't do good things. This does not telling you don't go out and try and make effort and do the best that you can, or at least do. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that sometimes, even with all of the right intentions, the right motives, it may not be recognized, it may not even be appreciated. Number three, no one sees themselves as the wrongdoer. No one sees themselves as the offender. Many of us see ourselves as the one being offended, but we don't see ourselves as being the offender. And many times, when a person does wrong and is called out on it, they instantly go to defend themselves. So there's this sort of way people excuse themselves from whatever the situation is, where they may have behaved badly, because no one likes to be labeled as bad, or even one who has behaved badly. Three, another unpleasant truth is favoritism exists. Now, many would have you believe that we live in a society that judges purely on merit. We live in a complete, absolute meritocracy. This is false. This is totally erroneous. We don't live in a 100% absolute meritocracy. We live, the idea is great. The mythos of the rugged individualist is a wonderful idea, but that's not always the case. Someone helped you get to where you're going to go. Someone stuck their neck out for you or opened a door for you. You may have had the wherewithal to take advantage of that opportunity, but it doesn't mean that you did it on your own. In fact, I think the great opera singer Marian Anderson, if you know who she is, great. If you don't, I suggest you Google her, Marian Anderson. But she is quoted as saying that no one can stand on the pedestal on their own. Someone had to lay the stone flat for them to stand on. So someone laid the stone flat for you to get where you're at. And I think it will be very good to do that for others as well. It seems people are more interested in credentials than actual ability these days. We're more interested in what school you got your degree from and whether or not you have a degree than whether or not you can deliver with whatever goods you're supposed to deliver with. That's another unpleasant fact or unpleasant truth that I'm wrestling with. And another one is what's good for the goose isn't always what's good for the gander. Like, everybody can't do the same thing. And everybody shouldn't want to do the same thing. We should strive to be us, or the best us that we can be, to take a phrase from a former friend. What else? What else? Because I had some things on my mind, and I'm just speaking straight from my mind here. This is not written down like I normally would consult some notes or something. What else is an unpleasant truth? And I think I've already said everyone has their favorites. Everyone does play favoritism. What else? Well, these are my unpleasant truths video. Just things I'm wrestling with, that I've just sort of am just now coming to peace with. Women will always, oh yeah, women will always love the bad boy. He has that certain appeal. He has that certain je ne sais quoi. That certain electricity, that certain magnetism. And that's something that maybe the so-called nice guy doesn't have. And that's fine. Not everyone was meant to be the same and do the same. So that's an unpleasant truth, you know. Sometimes, even when you're the nice guy and you do the right thing, the girl will choose the man that is on drugs, or he's living hand to mouth, and that's the one she chooses. With attraction and with appeal, that's something that isn't logical. It isn't based on logic. So that's something that's a part of life. And it's just something I've made peace with. Well, that's really all I have to say for now. I mean, I will revisit this topic. I don't know when, but I will. So think of this as like a to be continued sort of deal. Take care, YouTube, and thank you for tuning in.